Part 21. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 201. Although the little fox didn't recognize the skeleton in front of it, it still dug a hole and buried the skeleton. After everything was done, it left the enlightenment tree. Although it didn't remember what happened, it lost its smile and ran aimlessly in the depths of the Xuanhuan mountains. Wherever it went, whether it was the demon king or the little demon, they all avoided it. This made it feel very lonely. Until one day, it met a man in white clothes. The man smelled very good and named it Xuanhuan. To be honest, the little fox actually didn't like the name Xuanhuan because it wanted to be Bai and thought it should be Bai. But it didn't refuse. The two walked together, without a destination, and still wandered around the Xuanhuan mountains. Despite this, the little fox smiled a little more. Because it not only had a name, but also someone to accompany it. The little fox liked to sleep in the man's arms, because the fragrance made it feel comfortable, just like being in a harbor. Although it still remembered nothing every time it woke up, the man didn't care, and told it its name again and again, telling it that it was the Nine Heavens Ghost Fox. But the man never mentioned the mission of the Nine Heavens Ghost Fox. In order to prevent the little fox from forgetting, the man also made a white and blue jade pendant with the word 9 on the front and the word frost on the back, and made it into a necklace to hang around the neck. This jade pendant is made of top gray jade and is impervious to water and fire. The man said. In this way, it will not forget its name. One day, the little fox suddenly woke up from a deep sleep. Since Zhang Chen did not appear at the first time, it remembered nothing and wandered alone in the Xuanhuan mountains. Walking. A voice attracted its attention. Zhang Chen. You killed people and stole treasures. The Zhang family once protected you, but now you are just a stray dog. Following the voice, the little fox was stunned. What caught its eye was a man with a spiritual herb in one hand and blood oozing from his white clothes. At the man's feet, there were many dead monks lying. And around the man, there were many righteous monks who were angry and murderous. I came here because I heard the noise, not to kill people for treasure. The one who killed people for treasure was someone else, one of the true disciples of the Yugui sect, the man explained. Ridiculous, a monk immediately retorted, even so, why are you stained with the blood of my companions? Why do you have a 6th grade spiritual herb in your hand? The blood on your body is caused by rescuing people, and the spiritual herb in your hand was snatched back by me and was about to return it, the man said again. What about the Yugui sect people? The monk asked again. They ran away. Zhang Chen. Do you think we are fools? We rushed here as soon as we heard the screams, and we never saw any true disciples of the Yugui sect on the road. In the face of conclusive evidence, all explanation seemed pale and powerless. Zhang Chen's helpless silence was understood by the monks as tacit consent. Stop talking nonsense, look at the sword. A cultivator suddenly rushed out with a sword. Zhang Chen couldn't bear to hurt him, so he avoided him many times. This behavior was interpreted as a joke by the cultivator who came to kill him. Unable to beat him, and unwilling to be humiliated, with a bang, the cultivator exploded and died. Another companion died at the hands of Zhang Chen, which made the other cultivators who were watching unable to restrain themselves. For a while, more than 10 people attacked Zhang Chen, and their moves were killing moves. Zhang Chen had no choice but to protect himself, but when he came to his senses, he found the feet were full of corpses, and no one was alive. Witnessing all this, the little fox was struck by lightning. It felt that it had seen a big bad guy. But this bad guy smelled really good. It walked slowly towards Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen saw it and said in a panic, Xuanhuan, things are not like this, listen to me. Human, you smell really good, what's your name? The little fox interrupted. Hearing this, Zhang Chen was stunned. After a long time, he wondered, I killed so many people, you are not afraid of me? Don't you think I am bad? No, because you smell good. People who smell good are not bad people no matter what they do, the little fox blurted out. At this moment, the little fox seemed to see that Jiang Chen had tears in his eyes. Human, you seem very sad, the little fox stepped forward and comforted, it's okay, even if everyone doesn't believe you, I will definitely believe you. You smell so good, even if you are really a bad person, you are a good bad person. Good bad person? Jiang Chen was made to laugh and cry by these three words. This word is simply unheard of. In fact, since he fulfilled his promise and found the little fox, he has been trying to avoid talking about his past. Because he was afraid. In Juyan sect, he has been used to being misunderstood and accused, and he didn't want the little fox to be disgusted because of his villain halo. But who would have thought? This fox actually believed him so much. This also shows that the nine heavens fox is in tune with people's hearts and knows good and evil. Little fox, look at your jade pendant. Your name is Xuanhuan. My name is Jiang Chen. I promised your grandmother that I would always protect you until I die. After straightening his expression, Jiang Chen introduced himself again. Glancing at the jade pendant on his neck, the little fox believed it without any doubt. A man and a fox met again. The little fox got into Jiang Chen's arms again, enjoying the fragrance that made it extremely addicted. At night, a man and a fox sat by the campfire, and Jiang Chen talked about his past. When he learned that he had been misunderstood by his master, junior brothers, and junior sisters, the little fox was filled with indignation and said, your classmates are the bad guys. They will only bully you. When I become the Demon King, I will help you take revenge. When I learned that Jiang Chen's family was destroyed. Dynasty? Sooner or later, I will help you break through the dynasty and let the empress of the dynasty become your concubine. The little fox was angry and distressed. Goodbye, Jiang Chen flatly refused, that old woman is hundreds of years old. I don't have such a heavy appetite. That's really not possible. The little fox nodded, but then rolled his eyes. Jiang Chen, although the Jiang family is gone, I will be your family from now on. Okay, Jiang Chen blurted out. You promised. Don't go back on it, the little fox was overjoyed. I, Jiang Chen, always keep my word, but I am the brother and you are the sister. What brother and sister? Who wants to be your sister? Didn't you say we are a family? I mean, I want to marry you. Ah. Ah what? You won't go back on your word. But you are a fox. I can transform. Jiang Chen felt that what the little fox said made sense, but he was speechless. The scene in front of him is still going on. As a bystander, the little fox sometimes smiles happily, and sometimes feels so painful that it is difficult to breathe. Happily. This picture once appeared in its dream. But because the dream images were too blurry, it only remembered that it was going to marry Jiang Chen. At this moment, it knew. It turned out that he and Jiang Chen were once so close. And the heartache is, most things, if not reminded repeatedly by dreams, would definitely be forgotten. No wonder. No wonder Chen Sheng said it hurts people's hearts. Not only did it forget Jiang Chen many times, it even forgot its own closest relatives. At this time, the little fox has realized that all this is not its memory. Because in reality, its grandma was not dead yet, and appeared in front of it not long ago. So if it's not memory, then what is it? The little fox doesn't understand. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 202. Since then, there have been rumors of a man and a fox in the Hongduan mountains. That man was Jiang Chen, who was expelled from the Juyan sect and had lost his place to stay. The fox was Snow White, had lost his relatives and clansmen, and asked everyone he saw, "Who are you?" An experienced cultivator recognized that this was the Xuanhuan. No one dared to provoke Zhang Chen in the central region. Diamond sued. Because behind him stood the huge Zhang family. But now, after learning that Zhang Chen had reappeared in the central region, many righteous people and former enemies came to the Hongduan Mountains to eliminate Zhang Chen. As a result, without exception, these people were buried in the hands of Zhang Chen for various reasons. This made Zhang Chen's notoriety even worse. One day, Zhang Chen was practicing and was at a critical moment of breakthrough. The little fox was on guard all around. Suddenly, it saw an old man. The old man was wearing the uniform of the elder of the Wandao demon section. Although his skinny body was like skin and bones, his powerful aura was intimidating. Nine Heavens Ghost Fox. The old man looked at the little fox and said coldly, "Fox, where is Zhang Chen? Who are you? Why are you looking for Zhang Chen?" Although the little fox felt uneasy, he still asked back. "I am the elder of the Wandao demon section. Zhang Chen owes my Chen family a life," the old man replied. Hearing this, the little fox instantly understood that the other party was not a good person. "Zhang Chen, run," it shouted to the right. While shouting, it also rushed towards the old man in front of it. But halfway through, it found itself. It can't fight at all. Although it is an ancient monster and a Nine Heavens Ghost Fox, due to its forgetfulness, it doesn't remember any skills or talents at all. Helpless, the little fox had to jump up and bite the old man's arm. Humph. The old man just snorted coldly, and blew the little fox away directly, hitting the tree behind. After falling to the ground, the little fox struggled to get up and rushed towards the old man in front of him again. And this time, before it got close, it was blown away by a tyrannical force again. Falling to the ground again, the little fox was already covered with bruises. But it did not retreat, but continued to move forward. Its limbs trembled slightly, and it was obviously very difficult to stand, but it still did not retreat, and seemed extremely angry. "Why? Why do you bad guys want to bully Zhang Chen? He is obviously very fragrant, obviously very good, obviously very gentle. He will hold me to sleep, tell me stories, and allow my willfulness and forgetfulness. He is obviously the best person in the world. If you want to kill him, I will eat you." The little fox roared. Maybe it was because of anger, or maybe it was because of instinct. As the last voice fell, a light blue flame emerged from its brows. This flame seemed weak, but the hot and cold breath made the old man's pupils shrink subconsciously. "Nine Heavens Ghost Fire, this fire is a bit troublesome, it will burn your body," the old man said solemnly. "Fox, I don't want to have anything to do with you, put away your ghost fire and leave quickly. Otherwise," he said with murderous intent, "otherwise, today, you will die in front of Zhang Chen." The answer to him was the silence of the little fox. The old man said no more and took action directly. His right palm became a claw, just a light grab. Ah! The little fox in the distance seemed to be caught by a big hand, floating up and screaming. At the same time, the ghost fire suddenly grew stronger and fluttered, turning from a flame into a fire snake several feet long, biting directly at the old man. The old man waved his sleeves, trying to use his cultivation to raise a spiritual hurricane to drive the fire snake away. Who would have thought? Wherever the fire snake went, the surroundings were infected by its color. While the grass and trees were rapidly withering, the hurricane formed by the spiritual energy seemed to have lost its power and dissipated between heaven and earth. The next second, the light blue fire snake touched the old man's sleeve, and a hissing burning sound was heard. The old man was shocked and wanted to put out the fire. But the Nine Heavens Ghost Fire has a characteristic that it becomes stronger when it encounters a strong one. It can use the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and the cultivator's own cultivation as raw materials to strengthen itself. Therefore, the more the old man resisted, the stronger the fire became. Soon, the ghost fire wrapped around his entire arm. The old man was also a ruthless person. Seeing that the ghost fire wrapped around his left hand could not be extinguished, he used his right hand as a knife and directly cut off his left arm. Puff! In an instant, blood spilled everywhere. His entire left arm slipped from his body, fell to the ground, and was burned to ashes by the ghost fire. The old man was so angry that he was about to burst. Although he was a cultivator of the upper four realms, he was only in the first realm of the upper four realms, the initial realm. The reason why he could become the great elder of the Wandao demon sect with such a cultivation level was because he was a direct descendant of the Chen family, and the Chen family had repeatedly made contributions to the Wandao demon sect. And with such a cultivation level, he could not resist the ghost fire that was as famous as the phoenix fire. But at this moment, the ghost fire had disappeared, and the little fox in front of him forced the ghost fire to be used, which was also the end of its strength. With a flip of his right hand, a spirit sword appeared in his hand. Quickly moving forward and backward, aiming at the little fox's head, the old man swung the spirit sword. Die! The spirit sword broke through the air, bringing out sword light all over the sky. The little fox struggled to escape, but because of the forced activation of the ghost fire, it could not muster any strength at all. It was not afraid, but smiled. Zhang Chen once said that he would protect me with his life, but now, it is me who protects him with my life. I am indeed a proud fox. After saying that, it closed its eyes. But the expected pain did not appear. With a clang sound, the spirit sword seemed to hit a rigid object. The little fox opened his eyes quickly. The white light of the jade pendant on its neck was bright, and the white light gathered and condensed to form an elliptical shield, which protected it firmly. A jade pendant made of top-grade jade? An 8th grade formation is engraved inside it? The old man was extremely horrified, and he couldn't believe it. Now that the Zhang family has been destroyed, Zhang Chen is willing to give you such a treasure. The little fox was also stunned. It didn't expect that the jade pendant Zhang Chen gave it had such an effect. Haha, old man, you can't hurt me, the little fox laughed, and his smile was extremely arrogant. The old man's face was as dark as water when he heard it. Humph. The old man put away the spirit sword and said no more. After tapping the ground with his toes, he floated up and rushed to the right at a very fast speed. The little fox knew. The old man knew that he could not hurt himself, so he should go to find Zhang Chen. It was not in a hurry, and smiled with a successful plan. Because Zhang Chen was not on the right, but behind it? Not only that, it also clearly remembered that the right side was the territory of an extremely brutal giant python demon king. After a long sigh of relief, the little fox's injuries broke out. It was drowsy and its body was wailing. But it didn't dare to sleep. Because it knew very well that if it woke up, it would forget everything again. Dragging its exhausted body, the little fox staggered and rushed to Zhang Chen's side. At this time, Zhang Chen had just broken through. It got into Zhang Chen's arms familiarly, rubbed the latter's cheek, and then fell asleep peacefully. Zhang Chen, you smell so good, the little fox murmured. Xuanhuan, who hurt you? Zhang Chen asked anxiously. The little fox didn't answer, obviously lost consciousness. It slept for several days. After waking up suddenly, it shouted anxiously, Zhang Chen, run. An old man wants to kill you. As soon as the voice fell, it was stunned again. Zhang Chen, I didn't forget. I didn't forget you, and I didn't forget the promise between you and me. I finally remember you. The little fox was so happy that he was almost crazy. But soon, it found something wrong. Zhang Chen, you don't seem happy, it asked. No, Jiang Chen shook his head and replied, Xuanhuan, you should be promoted to the Demon King. Can I not be promoted to the Demon King? I don't want you to be the Demon King, I hope you will always be like this. But if I don't become the Demon King, I can't transform, and I can't marry you. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 203. The little fox didn't understand why Jiang Chen didn't show as much excitement as it did about it not losing its memory this time. Even more confused. It didn't understand why Jiang Chen didn't seem happy when it was promoted to the Demon King. In any case, seeing Jiang Chen's low mood, the little fox felt distressed. After a lot of entanglement, it finally agreed. Although it wanted to transform and marry Jiang Chen. But even if it died, it didn't want to see Jiang Chen's tangled and sad expression. Since then, the two have been living in the Xuanhuan mountains. Although there were laughter and joy, there were also some sighs. The little fox would still fall asleep occasionally. And every time it woke up from a deep sleep, it would instinctively look for Jiang Chen. Only when it saw the familiar facial features would it show a comfortable smile. Obviously, it was still afraid that it would forget Jiang Chen. More importantly, with each sleep, its breath would be strengthened a little, and it would be closer to breaking through to the Demon King. Over time, the little fox dared not fall asleep again. Even though it was so sleepy that it was already fuzzy, it still dared not close its eyes. Whenever it felt sleepy, it would burn itself with ghost fire, using the pain that penetrated deep into its bones to keep itself awake. After years and months, it was extremely tired and weak. The snow-white fur had become dull, and the originally lively fox eyes had become dull and often absent-minded. Jiang Chen, I want to go back to the tribe to have a look one day, the little fox said. Tribe? Do you remember where the tribe is? Jiang Chen was a little surprised. I don't remember. The little fox shook his head weakly, looking at the deepest part of the Xuanhuan mountains and said, although I don't remember, I can feel that the tribe is calling me. Jiang Chen was silent. He had always known that the ghost fox tribe had the return home characteristic. If the ghost fox tribe is weak and seriously endangers its life, it will return to the tribe and want to die where it was born. In other words, the situation of the little fox is not optimistic now. Years of suppressing the progress of cultivation have affected its own blood. If it continues like this, it may become weak and die. After a moment of hesitation, Jiang Chen sighed and said, Xuanhuan, I am wrong. I shouldn't force you to suppress your own realm. Go to sleep. When you wake up, you should be able to advance to the Demon King. No. The little fox shook his head desperately. I can see that you are very sad. For you, I am willing to do anything. Silly fox, rubbing its head, Jiang Chen forced a smile. Did you forget? You said that you would marry me after you transformed. This hit the little fox's soft spot. If I become a Demon King, will I forget you? It hesitated. I think so. After a long pause, Jiang Chen told the truth. That won't do. I finally remembered you. How can I forget? But I remember you. But this is unfair to you. No, you are wrong. Holding the little fox in his arms, Jiang Chen stroked its body and said seriously, Xuanhuan, your existence is the greatest fairness to me. The little fox was silent. It understood what Jiang Chen meant. Because in this world full of misunderstandings and malice, it was the only one who really believed that Jiang Chen was a good person. It felt very sad. That is why it can't forget. Because once it forgets, the only white fox who trusts Jiang Chen will no longer exist. Seeing its thoughts, Jiang Chen said again, it's okay, no matter how many times you forget me, I will help you remember. No matter where you are, I will find you. No matter what you become, I can recognize you at a glance. These words made the little fox want to cry. But it couldn't cry, just hugged Zhang Chen and made a strange sobbing sound. The little fox fell asleep. This sleep lasted for a whole year. Every day its aura was getting stronger, and it woke up from its deep sleep when it was about to break through. Zhang Chen went to the surroundings to be on guard. Although the little fox was afraid, it still gritted its teeth and broke through. It was night. The sky and the earth changed color, and the wind and clouds surged. It seemed that there was a fox howl coming from the sky, and it seemed that the fox was crying in the airs. Under the thunder light, the little fox endured the pain in its body, and the ghost fire emerged from its eyebrows, wrapping its entire fox body. Feeling the increasingly powerful aura, the surrounding little demons bowed down to worship, and Zhang Chen sighed again and again in the distance. After everything calmed down, the little fox has grown a lot, and the 3 tails behind it have become 4 tails. The ghost fire is like a garment, wrapping it, and there is a little more charm in its pale blue fox eyes, which is enough to make people lose their minds. After the breakthrough, Zhang Chen came quickly. But just when she wanted to say something, but the little fox looked up at the sky, murmuring and repeating 2 words. Destiny. At this moment, it remembered its mission. It is the 9 heavens ghost fox, and its destiny in this life is to find its destiny. Such a mission is engraved in the blood, and it will automatically emerge as long as the realm is reached, and it has nothing to do with memory. Little fox, we meet again. Zhang Chen took a deep breath and stepped forward. Hearing this, the little fox turned his head. It looked at Zhang Chen with confusion in its eyes. Human, you smell so good, what's your name? It asked. Before Zhang Chen could reply, suddenly, the dark fire flourished, and several large bloody characters emerged from it. After becoming the Demon King, go to the upper realm. The little fox was stunned. Although it cannot remember who left these bloody words, it can feel deep concern and affection from them. I can also feel it. The meaning of urging in the word blood. Where is the upper domain? The little fox didn't know about this. Although it didn't know it, it relied on instinct, jumped up, drew a streak of white light in the night sky, and finally disappeared at the end of the night. Zhang Chen didn't have time to stop it, nor did he have enough cultivation to follow. Looking at the direction the little fox was leaving, he could only sigh and said, every time the Xuanhuan grows a tail, it will be like a new life, completely forgetting everything before. It seems that I have to go to the upper realm to look for it. But my current cultivation level is not enough, so I can only wait for a while, he said to himself. Say it. After many years, he also left the Hongduan mountains. Occasionally, he would habitually talk to the little fox, and only when the words were on his lips did he remember. That stayed with him for many years. The white fox, who always trusted him and thought that even if he was a bad person, he was still a good or bad person, is no longer around. Zhang Chen's lonely figure made the little fox watching feel heartbroken. At this moment, the little fox finally understood the meaning of 9 heavenly fox. At the end of 3. Xuanhuan's memory is unstable and he often forgets. Thereafter, although its memory has stabilized, every time it grows a tail, it will forget everything again until it finds the person God has destined for it. So God is letting it continue to be forgotten. Its purpose is to prevent it from being interfered by external forces and deliver this gift accurately to the hands of the destined people. The little fox raised his head and looked up at the sky. God, you really have a bad taste. Oh my God. Not only did Zhang Chen, a good person like him, suffer misunderstandings and cold looks. Even he, a fox, was deprived of the right to choose. Sudden. It saw the 3 characters' first life again, and it felt like it was struck by lightning. Could it be that this is a memory from a past life? It said in surprise. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 204. Time passes quickly on the screen, and in the blink of an eye it is more than 10 years later. The little fox at that time had already transformed. After her transformation, she was wearing a light blue brocade skirt, her skin was as white as snow, with the six-tailed Yangdong behind her. Looking from a distance, her bright eyes and white teeth, and her ice-cold bones and jade skin, looked like Xiaojiabiu. But if you look closely, you can see her charming fox eyes and charming smile, which can enchant all living beings. Even so, wherever it went, the monks still avoided it. Occasionally, a big shot who doesn't believe in evil comes and wants to take possession of her. But just by looking at them, these big shots could sense that Deo was confused, and they had the idea of giving everything for them. This thought made everyone break out in cold sweat and flee in a hurry. Upper domain, in a certain city. The monks are bustling, and the little fox wears a white veil and walks on the main road. Why? She sighed quietly. Since coming to the upper territory, she has been to many places in the upper territory, but she still has not found her destiny. And all this time, she was alone. If she hadn't hidden her face today, most of the monks in the city would have been scared away by her. Looking for a rest station, the little fox looked at the jade pendant on his chest in a daze. She didn't know where this jade pendant came from, she just knew it was important. Exactly how important it was, she couldn't tell. If she really had to describe it in words, it would be far beyond her mission to find her destiny, and far beyond her own life. Xuanhuan. The little fox murmured softly, caressing the words 9 and frost on the jade pendant with his thin fingers, and then smiled slightly. This should be her name. She was convinced of this, although she didn't know why. She had guessed. Maybe her full name is Bai Xuanhuan? But this name was quickly rejected by her. There is no reason either, it just feels very inconsistent. Suddenly, a group of monks entered the inn, attracting the little fox's attention. The young man in the lead had a dark complexion and held a black knife. Around him, there were many men and women wearing sect costumes. A member of the Julian sect, the little fox thought to himself. She knew very well that this was a sect that had just been promoted from the lower domain to the middle domain. Although the strength is relatively weak, it is said that there are many geniuses in it. And that dark-faced young man gave the little fox a very strange feeling. Some are kind and some are repulsive. Junior brother Lin, senior brother Zhufeng seems to have appeared in the upper domain. What senior brother? Where did the senior brother come from? We, the 9 peaks of Julian sect, don't have any senior brothers. Oh, it was me who made the mistake, it should be Zhang Chen. The people of Julian sect were talking. Zhang Chen. The name hit his ears, and the little fox suddenly screamed in surprise. She didn't know why she had such a big reaction, but just hearing the name made her heart thump and she couldn't control her emotions. Lin Feng heard her exclamation, turned his head immediately, and then his eyes lit up. It is not uncommon to see transformed monsters in the upper realm. Although the little fox is wearing a veil, you can tell from the charming eyes, the 6 tails behind her, and the pair of fox ears that this must be a beautiful woman in the form of a fox monster. This beauty, my name is Lin Feng. Did Zhang Chen do evil to you? Lin Feng smiled lightly and came to the little fox's side. Lin Feng. The little fox frowned. Vaguely, she felt like she had heard this name somewhere before, which made her a little disgusted. Dare you ask for the beauty's name? Lin Feng asked again. The little fox was silent due to his confused thoughts. This made Lin Feng frown. Upon seeing this, the manager of the inn said, "My little friend, this girl is the 9 heavenly fox. I advise you to stay away." As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked. What? Xuanhuan? Is it the rumored nine heavens fox that turned the holy son of the Holy Land into a licking dog and wandered around the upper realm? I just glanced at her quietly, wouldn't she be deceived? Leave quickly, don't stay here for a long time. The monks in the inn were shocked and left one after another in an instant. This made the inn manager helplessly shake his head. He originally just thought Lin Feng was friendly, so he warned him, but he didn't expect that he scared all the guests away. Junior brother Lin, let's go quickly. The nine heavens nether fox confuses all living beings, and if you are not careful, you will become a puppet who is willing to pay everything for it, a member of the Juyan sect urged Lin Feng. It doesn't matter. Lin Feng waved his hand and refused. My Taoist heart is strong and is never affected by external forces. After saying that, he looked at the little fox again and said with a smile, I heard that Xuanhuan has been looking for his destined person all his life. Only the name given by the destined person can be remembered by Xuanhuan. Why don't I give it to you? Individual. I have a name, it's Xuanhuan, the little fox finally responded. Xuanhuan? What kind of nonsense name is this? It doesn't suit you at all. Lin Feng was disdainful and began to express himself, you are a white fox, so you should take Bai as your surname. Your eyes are smart and charming, so you should take the name of Ling. Bai Ling. How about this name? Bai Ling. This name struck my ears, and the little fox felt as if he had been struck by lightning. She didn't like this name, but she could feel it being carved into her bones and blood. After coming back to her senses, she could actually see. A red thread tightly connected her to Lin Feng. Destiny man. At this moment, she actually found the destined person. It was obvious that she didn't have much affection for the man in front of her. When she heard the name Zhang Chen, a figure in white appeared in front of her. She just thought that the figure in white was her destiny. But who knew? God wanted to give her to the stranger in front of her. Although the stranger smelled fragrant. But the little fox always felt that this fragrance was not pleasant, giving people a very deliberate feeling. Not like. Not like what? The little fox was stunned. In a trance. She saw the figure in white again. That person once said that he would always protect her. That person once said that no matter what she looked like, no matter where she was, he would recognize her and find her. She remembered that person smelled good. She also remembered. She once said that if she changed into a human form, she would marry him. And that person's name seemed to be. At this moment, the little fox had a splitting headache, and the dark fire between her eyebrows fluttered out. In an instant, the ghost fire spread out in all directions with her as the center, turning into a raging fire wave, devouring everything around. But the stronger her resistance, the more intense the pain, and the white-clothed figure also vaguely showed signs of being replaced by Lin Feng. And the name that was about to come out seemed to be being erased by a pair of big hands with absolute power. Zhang Chen. Before she completely forgot it, she still called out the man's name. And it was this name that seemed to trigger some kind of taboo. Boom boom. The sky suddenly made a muffled sound, and thunder burst out. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 205. The sky was thundering and lightning. The little fox's own ghost fire turned into a huge wave, swallowing everything around. She was in the flames. Her eyes were dull and her memory was confused. After the appearance of the man of destiny, she would no longer lose her memory and forget, but she still forgot Zhang Chen. Although she forgot. But she also remembered. She forgot Zhang Chen's appearance, forgot what Zhang Chen had said, and even forgot the name Xuanhuan. But she remembered the figure in white, the fragrance that made her feel at ease and warm. In the end, she left. Her instinct told her that she should stay with the man of destiny, but she still chose to leave. She wanted to find. She didn't know what she wanted to find. The only thing she knew was, only by finding could she feel at ease. Only by finding could she feel her heartbeat and feel that she was still herself. When the little fox left, the surroundings were already in ruins. Although there were some powerful people in the city who could stop the little fox from doing this when the ghost fire engulfed the city. However, no one was willing to come forward, and no one was willing to have anything to do with the Nine Heavens ghost fox. Looking at the direction where the little fox left, Lin Feng was puzzled. At the moment of naming the little fox, he could also see the red line between the two. He guessed that he was the little fox's destiny, but he didn't know why the little fox's behavior was so abnormal. She is rebelling against destiny, the innkeeper next to him said. Resisting destiny, Lin Feng was puzzled. This is the second time I have seen the Nine Heavens ghost fox rebel against destiny, and the last Nine Heavens ghost fox that rebelled against destiny angered the demon emperor, brought great disasters to the tribe, and itself. It also became the Nine Nether ghost fox, and its soul was scattered. It is said that there are two foxes born. One fox follows the will of heaven, and is named the Nine Heavens ghost fox. One fox defies destiny, and is named the Nine Abyss ghost fox. The Nine Heavens ghost fox, though a puppet, is favored by heaven and earth. The Nine Abyss ghost fox, though free, has only a lifespan of a few hours. When the time is up, its soul will fly away. Thousands of years ago, a Nine Heavens ghost fox appeared in the demon world. This ghost fox rebelled against the destiny and refused to marry his destiny man, the demon world emperor. Facing the emperor and the way of heaven, the Nine Heavens ghost fox knew that he was powerless to resist, so he burned his body with his own ghost fire and used the Nine Abyss hellfire to refine his soul. Although he escaped the destiny, he also became a ghost fox and died a miserable death. This move angered the way of heaven and the demon emperor, so they expelled and suppressed all their clansmen in this world. The reason for choosing this world is that the throne of this world is vacant, and the female emperor of the dynasty is just a self-proclaimed emperor, and dare not meddle in other people's affairs. The Tianfeng emperor is a false emperor. The self-proclaimed emperor is the real emperor. As for the self-proclaimed emperor, he proclaimed himself as the emperor of a region, but he had neither the throne nor the understanding of the Great Way. To put it bluntly, he was just a cultivator who had not touched the realm of the emperor. After learning all this, Lin Feng was shocked. He knew it very well. Anyone who could know such secrets and lived for thousands of years must be a hidden great power. Thank you for your guidance, Senior. He immediately bowed to thank him. No need to thank me, it's just a small favor. I am the lord of the city. Xuanhuan who burned my post station and my city house. Since you are her destined person, just settle the bill. Lin Feng's face turned black instantly. After that, the rumors about Xuanhuan became even more serious in the upper domain. Years and years. The little fox was still searching aimlessly in the upper domain. She had been to many places and encountered many enemies, but she had never found the white figure in her memory. During this period, she burned herself with ghost fire many times, intending to use this method to offset the influence of the heavenly Dao on herself. Every time, she was in agony. But every time, she was laughing. The reason for laughing was that she did succeed, and she could still see the figure in white in a trance. Also because, for some reason, this feeling of burning herself with ghost fire made her feel very familiar. It seemed that she had burned herself with ghost fire for someone many years ago, so that she would never fall asleep again. Although it hurt, she was very happy. One day, the little fox came to a secret place in the upper domain. In front of her was a 100-foot-high enlightenment tree. The enlightenment tree was tall and fruitful, with lush branches and leaves. Judging from the light it emitted, it was at least 8th grade, or even 9th grade. The little fox walked slowly forward, jumped onto the branch and lay down. This feeling was very familiar to her, as if she had returned home and returned to the past. The long search and the ghost fire had made her physically and mentally exhausted and weak. She gently closed her eyes, her skirt fell down, and she fell asleep with her 6 tails swaying. She had a dream. In the dream, a figure in white said, "A lifetime is too long, but as long as I live, I will always protect it." The dream was warm. So warm that she couldn't help laughing. This dream was also hurtful. Because in the dream, she kept trying to call the name of the figure in white, but it was always like a thorn in her throat. It wasn't until the figure in white left that she understood. What hurt people was not the dream, not the words, but the deep longing and the deep love. The little fox suddenly woke up. Recalling the scenes in the dream, she felt as if her heart was cut by a knife and her nose was sour. She wanted to cry. She wanted to vent the emotions that had been suppressed for a long time in this way. She couldn't cry, it was like she had no tears. Suddenly, she felt the influence of heaven again, and the figure in white in her memory gradually became blurry, and there were signs of being replaced by Lin Feng again. There was no hesitation. The fire shot out from between her eyebrows and swallowed her body instantly. Using her bloodline and cultivation as raw materials, the ghost fire became increasingly hot and dazzling, turning the surrounding area into a world of light blue flames in an instant. Boom! The sky was muffled again and thunder continued. And with every sound of thunder, Lin Feng's presence in her mind would deepen. The little fox noticed. This time, God is really angry. In this way, she is forced to make a choice. Either obey the fate, or burn yourself to death. Although I don't know what I am looking for. Although I don't know who the figure in white is. Although I don't know if I will ever see him again. But one thing is clear to me. The little fox raised her head and looked up at the sky. She was clearly suffering from the pain of burning her body, but she smiled sweetly and said, "I know very well that I will not miss the world without him at all." The words fell. More ghostly fire sprang out from her body, making a sizzling sound, blue and deadly. She made her choice with practical actions. Even if it means death. She also doesn't want to forget, and she doesn't want to live in a world without that person. All of a sudden, several purple thunder fell from the sky and struck beside her. The dull thunder was deafening, causing the heaven and earth to shake. Oh my God! It seemed like he was roaring, like he was questioning. Why? Yes, why, the little fox said with a smile, obviously everyone says that Xuanhuan has no heart. But I can feel the heartbeat, the warmth, the nostalgia, and the yearning. Perhaps. Speaking of this, she looked at the sky again, maybe you are the one without a heart. Boom. As soon as she said this, the lightning gathered into a dragon and struck directly towards her head. At the same time, the jade pendant on her chest glowed with white light, forming a solid formation in an attempt to offset the thunder. How can the 8th level formation stop Tianwei? With a click sound, the formation and the jade pendant on her chest were shattered at the same time. At this moment, she was desperate. Not because he was about to die, but because the jade pendant, which was as heavy as life, was broken. Just like her heart. At this moment, it became fragmented and scattered all over the place. Hee. The little fox smiled palely, closed his eyes and waited for death. Suddenly. Boom. A bell that resounded throughout the world rang in my ears. The little fox quickly opened his eyes, only to see that he was surrounded by the ancient imperial bell. And the thundering power just now was offset by this imperial bell. And the white clothes dazzled in front of her, and she saw a man walking towards her. The man said, "Little fox, we meet again." "You know me," she replied. "Of course, have you forgotten?" The man ignored the ghost fire on her body and took her into his arms. "I said, no matter what you become, No matter where you are, I will recognize you and find you. Yes. Yes, my name is Zhang Chen, she answered. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 206. After many years, the two reunited again. The two men repaired a house next to the enlightenment tree that had been burned by the ghost fire. Zhang Chen was practicing every day, while the little fox was watching with a happy smile. She would occasionally ask why Zhang Chen worked so hard. To this, Zhang Chen's answer was to save people. The little fox doesn't understand. I don't understand why Zhang Chen, who is clearly misunderstood and criticized, still wants to save others. But she didn't stop. Because she has always known that Zhang Chen has never compromised with God. The influence of God still exists, and she can only rely on self-immolation with ghost fire almost every day to stay awake and maintain her memory. But she never regretted it. Because only with Zhang Chen can she truly feel that she is still alive. Until one day, she suddenly remembered everything. He remembered his grandmother, his people, and the enlightenment tree under the Hongduan mountains in the central region. After Xuanhuan met the Destiny Man, although he would never forget it, it was difficult to recall the past. But she was extremely weird, remembering everything. She remembers. He grew up by sucking the flesh and blood of his tribe. She remembers it too. Grandma once said. The clansmen are waiting for her to save them. If she disobeys destiny, her people will be annihilated again. She remembers it better. He had made an oath and a goal to save his own people. Don't live up to Grandma's efforts. This moment, a difficult choice lay before the little fox. Clan member, Zhang Chen. Who to choose? If she wants to save her people, she must return to the Destiny Man. If she chooses Zhang Chen, not only will she not be able to free her people from the seal, she will even bring disaster to them again. She likes Zhang Chen so much that she almost goes crazy. But if it is because of this, he will abandon his clan and ignore his grandmother's advice and sacrifice. Then, does she still deserve to enjoy happiness? Such a choice is really cruel. Cruel and despairing, suffocating. Since then, the little fox has been living in pain every day. She is still resisting the influence of heaven, but every time she thinks of her tribe and grandma, her resistance becomes a little weaker. She still watches Zhang Chen practice every day, and she smiles naturally and happily. But in the dead of night, she would look up to the sky again, murmuring and repeating a sentence. What do I do? Time flies. The little fox's condition is getting worse and worse. She occasionally asks herself whether she is Jushuang or Bailing. She became willful and unreasonable. She asked again and again, asking Zhang Chen to marry her. But Zhang Chen always responded with silence. The little fox understands. He understood that Zhang Chen knew that she had something on his mind and didn't want her to make a regretful choice under such circumstances. But she really doesn't know what to do. She couldn't abandon her clan members and ignore them, nor could she abandon Zhang Chen and ignore them. Because both are more important than her life. Zhang Chen noticed what the little fox was thinking, and also noticed something was wrong with the latter. But even if he is determined to be a good person, even if he never owes anyone, he can't push the little fox to Lin Feng. Because he knows better than anyone else. The little fox can't save the tribe. Because she would die in Lin Feng's hands before she gave birth to her 9th tail. Such reality is even more cruel. He could not and had no way to tell the little fox this, so he could only sigh and remain silent. Finally, the little fox still couldn't make a choice, under the influence of his own resistance and the way of heaven. She felt that her soul was being torn apart, and over time, she split into another personality. His name is Bai Ling. Bai Ling has a charming personality and obeys the destiny. Zhu Shuang has a more gentle personality and just wants to stay by Zhang Chen's side. At the beginning, the character belonging to Bai Ling would only appear occasionally. But as time goes by, Bai Ling gradually takes over the dominant position. Only when he wants to leave, Zhu Shuang's personality will wake up from his slumber and stop him. In the blink of an eye, it is many years later. A group of monks came from the secret realm. It was Lin Feng and others. Lin Feng relied on his own red thread to find the location of Zhang Chen and the little fox. Seeing that the little fox and Zhang Chen actually lived together, Lin Feng was furious. He felt that he was being cheated and stabbed people in anger. Zhang Chen was no match for Lin Feng. At the critical moment, Zhu Shuang's personality appeared again and prevented Lin Feng from making a fatal move. Looking at the little fox standing in front of Zhang Chen, Lin Feng was furious. He is the son of destiny. The destined person of Xuanhuan. But now, the woman who belonged to him was not only kidnapped by Zhang Chen, but she was also protecting Zhang Chen. Bai Ling. Come here, Lin Feng shouted loudly. At this time, the little fox has a Zhu Shuang personality, so he is naturally unmoved. Ken. She couldn't control herself. Hearing this, she instantly lost control of her body. He could only watch helplessly, but the personality belonging to Bai Ling controlled his body and went to stand next to Lin Feng. Zhang Chen, have you seen it? Lin Feng laughed wildly. She is Bai Ling, not Zhu Shuang. I am her destiny. And you are just my stepping stone. Hearing this, Zhang Chen's expression fell silent. Zhu Shuang, who was unable to control his body and could only watch helplessly, felt heartbroken. She regretted it very much. She regretted that she was not firm, so God took advantage of the situation and strengthened her influence. She hated herself for not keeping her promise. Because she clearly said that she would always accompany Zhang Chen and marry Zhang Chen. But the result? She actually stabbed Zhang Chen's heart hard. Others may not know, but I know very well. Zhang Chen suddenly staggered to his feet, looked at Lin Feng and said, "Kill you, the red line will be broken. Xuanhuan will still be the same Xuanhuan. Kill me? You," Lin Feng was disdainful. "I may not be able to do it now, but next year, do you dare to fight me? This battle will determine both victory and defeat, and life and death," Zhang Chen asked back. "No need to wait until next year, I can kill you now." Lin Feng's eyes were fierce. He was ready to take action directly. It can be seen that his destiny fox girl is not in the right state. After struggling in his eyes, he finally changed his mind. "Well, let you live one more year." In the end, Lin Feng put away the black knife. The little fox, as a bystander, was struck by lightning after watching these scenes. It thought it would live a happy life after seeing Zhang Chen again. But who knew? What awaited it and Zhang Chen in the end was such an unacceptable reality. Clan members. Zhang Chen? The little fox himself didn't know how to choose. But in the face of its hesitation, it went to Lin Feng's side, and Zhang Chen gave his answer. Still have to save. Even if she is no longer herself, even if she has become Bai Ling, Zhang Chen is still fulfilling his promise. Until his death, he will still protect her and save her. Zhang Chen, you fool. How can there be such a fool in the world? You are the one who is hurt the most. You are the one who is least understood and most eager for companionship. But why? Why are you thinking about others? Can't you think about yourself, even if you are a bad guy once in a while? The little fox kept roaring. After roaring, it fell silent again. It could not suppress the urge to cry, but it still couldn't cry as usual. Nine heavens, fox, maybe you really don't have a heart. After all, I can't even cry. It said in a sad voice. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 207. The following year, the battle between Lin Feng and Zhang Chen attracted the attention of many people. One of them is a talented person who has already made a name for himself in the upper domain, while the other is the former young master of the Zhang family who has gained a notorious reputation. The battle between the two did not last long. Accompanied by Xiao Hongai's cries, the surrounding cheers, and Lin Feng's wild laughter. As a bystander, the little fox watched helplessly as Zhang Chen's chest was pierced by a black knife. Zhang Chen! It screamed miserably. Like the others, it also ran to Zhang Chen's side. While scolding the others, it tried desperately to stop the blood that was constantly seeping out of Zhang Chen's body. But no one could hear its words, and Zhang Chen's life was quickly passing away. Seeing Zhang Chen still looking around before dying, Lin Feng whispered, "Stop looking. I ordered Bai Ling not to come. As soon as you die today, the personality named Xuanhuan will disappear completely. Zhang Chen, I have to say, you are a stepping stone, which makes me very happy." Lin Feng's answer was Zhang Chen's words, "Let them go." The little fox watched Zhang Chen die with his own eyes, and saw the blood soaking into his white clothes. Instant collapse. At this time, it has guessed that this should be a memory from a past life. But it didn't expect that it would end like this. It couldn't help but regret and hate itself even more. It questions itself. If it had been more determined, it would not have been promoted to the Demon King if it listened to Zhang Chen's words. If it were more cruel, it would choose Zhang Chen when faced with a choice. Then Zhang Chen, will he not die? At least, you won't die so lonely. This moment. As the person who was more important than her life died, it was also devastated. Seeing Zhang Chen's body being swallowed up by the flames, the light blue fire between its brows rippled like water waves. In the firelight, it seemed like he had returned to the Hongduan Mountains, to the place where he first met Zhang Chen. The man in white hugged her and said, "I have a destiny with it." The man in white rubbed its head and said, "A lifetime is too long, but I will protect it until I die." The little fox smiled palely. At this moment, it finally understood everything. No wonder all the monks and monsters avoided Xuanhuan. It is indeed a scourge. It has no heart and is always forgetting. It also has no emotion. Because even after experiencing so much, the thing in this memory did not appear when Zhang Chen died. The little fox regretted it. It regretted knowing Zhang Chen because it had brought too much harm to Zhang Chen. Looking at the white-clothed figure in the firelight, the little fox murmured, "Zhang Chen, I hope you won't meet me again in the next life, because I am a little fox who specializes in hurting people's hearts." It didn't know how long it stayed in place. All he knew was that when he came back to his senses, Zhang Chen's corpse had already been burned, and only himself was left around. The little fox did not stay here, but floated to the middle realm. It's back to the depths of the Hongduan Mountains, back to where it all began. Time is still passing quickly. The little fox was lying where the enlightenment tree had been, looking around blankly. I do not know how long it has been. It saw a familiar face. In the screen, a woman with 6 tails and a stunning appearance has arrived in her life. The woman looked around, and then planted a tree of enlightenment in the place where the enemy had once been, and nourished it with her own blood. In the blink of an eye, 100 years have passed. During this time, she never left. In 100 years, the enlightenment tree has grown to the 7th level, just like the tree it once was, surrounded by flowing light and luxuriant branches. Within 100 years, she never said a word. Her eyes were dull and her movements were extremely mechanical and wooden. Only when looking at the enlightenment tree will a smile appear. Am I Bai Ling or Xuanhuan? The woman finally asked herself. Lin Feng originally thought, at least once Zhang Chen dies, the personality belonging to Xuanhuan will disappear. But he didn't expect it. Xuanhuan may have disappeared, but what happened cannot be erased. Over the years, Bai Ling's personality has also been affected, and occasionally a figure in white will appear in front of his eyes. And it was following this figure in white that she returned to the place where it all started. This situation is like Xuanhuan appearing again. Am I Xuanhuan or Bai Ling? The woman murmured to herself. The thoughts in her mind were chaotic and she looked a little crazy. All the past events resurfaced in her mind again. Familiar places and familiar scenes reminded her of the past again. Remembered that. A man who no longer exists in the world but still lives in our hearts. Zhang Chen. The woman shouted softly. Thousands of thoughts came to my mind, and all kinds of things had appeared before my eyes. In a trance. She seemed to see herself on the enlightenment tree and Zhang Chen under the enlightenment tree. The tip of my nose felt sore. My heart ached. The woman felt that all her strength was drained from her body and she fell to the ground. And a drop of light blue tear slipped from her eye and dripped down her cheek. She wiped her cheeks and was slightly startled. She had always thought, if you can cry, it will definitely feel better and there will definitely be no more pain. But now, the tears that fell were like opening the shackles of her negative emotions, making her feel that life was worse than death. Only now did she understand. It's not that Xuanhuan can't cry, it's that he can only cry after being emotional and transforming, but he still can't cry. Because her tears are the 9 heavens fire. The ghost fire is like her life, if it runs out, she will die. Knowing all this. But the woman still covered her face and cried bitterly, unable to contain herself. Light blue tears rolled down and dropped to the ground, making the world seem to be covered with a layer of light blue. And with every tearful word, the mark of the ghost fire between the woman's eyebrows will fade a little. Until the mark disappears completely. The woman could no longer maintain her human form, but turned into a 6-tailed white fox, lying prone under the enlightenment. Tears are still flowing, but they are no longer light blue. But, clear tears. This proves that the ghost fire in her body has passed away and her life is not long. She felt intense tiredness. But while he could still move and stay awake, he used his sharp claws to carve 2 names under the enlightenment tree pole. Zhang Chen. 9 frosts. On the tree of enlightenment, there is the fox of enlightenment. Under the tree of enlightenment, you and me. She whispered softly, Grandma, Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. My heart is dead and I can no longer grow up to the 9 tails to rescue you. After saying this, she finally closed her eyes and quietly felt the passage of life. She thought she would die quietly like this. Who would have guessed? Not long after, Lin Feng arrived and raised his black knife towards her. Looking at himself dying at Lin Feng's hands in the picture, the little fox felt desolate. It wishes it could cry too. Even if I die, I still want to feel the feeling of having a heart. Ken. Although he was emotional, he did not change his form. Before it transformed, it couldn't completely control the ghost fire, and naturally it couldn't turn the ghost fire into tears and really cry for once. I haven't forgotten Zhang Chen, the little fox sniffed. It's a blessing. Fortunately, when Zhang Chen died in the scene, although he did not appear, he still thought of Zhang Chen again in the end. It also feels sad. In the past, it was still struggling to stay by Zhang Chen's side in order to save its people. But now it finally understood. Choose. This kind of thing didn't exist from the beginning. Because if it chooses Zhang Chen, with Lin Feng's character, it will kill Zhang Chen sooner or later. And if it chooses clan members. As a result, this is what it is now. The only thing it can do. Maybe it's just like myself in the picture, deciding when and where to die. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 208. The first life ended abruptly. The little fox thought that this was the end. Little did I know. This is just the beginning. Second life. Third world. Fourth life. In every life, Jiang Chen would appear under the enlightenment tree in the Hongduan mountains, saying that he was destined to it. In every life, Jiang Chen would find it in the upper realm, and then use that simple yellow bell to save it from the thunder. The same goes for every life. It will all fall into difficult choices, and thus be affected by the way of heaven and split into another personality. Ninth life. In this life, the little fox could clearly detect the loss and exhaustion in Jiang Chen's eyes. But in this life, nothing has changed. Even though he was tired, even if he was completely desperate, Jiang Chen still found it in the Hongduan mountains. Only this time, Jiang Chen did not protect it from breaking through to the Demon King, but left early. In the end, there is no difference. Even if Jiang Chen racked his brains and tried his best to change everything. But as long as one person and one fox know each other, they are destined to end up dead. Seeing Jiang Chen pierced by a black knife once again, the little fox's psychological defense was completely defeated. Jiang Chen once said, "This life is too long, so I will only protect it until my death." Jiang Chen fulfilled his promise, but he also made a mistake. Because you clearly said that one life is too long, why did you protect me for 9 more lives? Seeing Jiang Chen's body being burned, the little fox asked loudly. The words fell. Dark fire emerged from between its brows and shot straight into the sky like a pillar. It wants to burn the sky with dark fire. But unfortunately, his own cultivation level is limited, and he is not skilled in controlling the ghost fire. Soon, the ghostly fire bloomed like a flower, then spread out until it disappeared. This made the little fox once again realize his own incompetence. The strong self-blame, sadness, and other emotions made it stay in place for a long time. When he came back to his senses, the originally smart fox eyes were already filled with ferocious anger. Damn it today. 10th life. After watching Jiang Chen bully his classmates and tease his junior sister, the little fox finally understood. Turn out to be. In this life, Jiang Chen has been completely ruined. He is no longer kind and genuine, he just wants to be a complete villain and live a carefree life. So, the Jiang Chen it smells is the stinky one. The little fox is very happy. Because Jiang Chen has been a good man for 9 generations, what he got in return was everyone's misunderstanding and accusations. In this life, he is qualified to live without restraint. No one or anything should bring him into the nightmare he once had. The 9-life retrospective ended abruptly. The little fox suddenly woke up. There was still the roar of battle in his ears, and he was in a daze, as if 1,000 years had passed, but from a time perspective, only a few moments had passed. The huge sound of fighting scared the birds and animals and caused the monks to flee. The little fox stayed in place for a long time, his mind filled with Jiang Chen's smile and the memories of the 9th life. Suddenly, the little fox's ears moved slightly, sensing that someone was approaching quickly. It can be felt. Jiang Chen should have been attracted by the sound of fighting and was worried that something might happen to Chen Sheng, so he came in a hurry. Jiang Chen. The little fox called softly and wanted to run to Jiang Chen's side. It wanted to tell Jiang Chen that it remembered everything. It wanted to tell Jiang Chen that his surname would not be Bai in this life, and he would never look for his destiny again. Ken. As soon as he took one step, the little fox felt dizzy, as if he was about to fall into a deep sleep again. It stayed awake through the burning of the ghost fire, but also stopped. Looking back for 9 generations, most of the damage it brought to Jiang Chen was harm. It feels unworthy. I don't deserve to appear next to Jiang Chen anymore, and I don't deserve to make Jiang Chen feel nervous again. It doesn't even deserve the name 9 Frosts that Jiang Chen gave it. Because, even if you understand everything, know everything, it is still the 9 Heavens fox, it is still a fox that keeps forgetting, specializing in hurting people's hearts. Zhang Chen, take care. Finally, the little fox escaped. Escaped from the man who haunted her and dreamed about her day and night. The little fox ran all the way and found Chen Sheng and Grandma, who were fighting. At this time, Chen Sheng had been shot to the ground by his grandmother. Judging from his erratic breath, it was obvious that he was seriously injured. Seeing that Grandma wanted to kill her, the little fox immediately stopped in front of Chen Sheng. "Grandma, he can't die, he is a good person. Good guy." Hearing this, the old woman with 6 tails and Chen Sheng were both stunned. Especially Chen Sheng. After being stunned for a moment, he became even more furious. He, Chen Sheng, has killed countless people in his life and is known as a devil. Turned out to be a good person? This is simply slander. What Chen Sheng didn't know was, at this moment, the little fox has reversed the concepts of good guys and bad guys. 9 reincarnations are repeated. Because Zhang Chen was often misunderstood and criticized, the little fox was full of disgust towards those who were on the right path. Although these people are good people in name, they are bad people in its heart. On the other hand, Chen Sheng. During the 9th lifetime, the little fox once heard Zhang Chen talk about this person. It's clear. Chen Sheng, the protector, was really kind to Zhang Chen. Although this person is a bad guy in name, he is actually a good guy in his heart. Although it still stinks. "Grandma, take me away," the little fox called again. "Have you seen Zhang Chen?" the 6-tailed old woman asked. "No time to explain, take me away, I will tell you everything in detail," the little fox said anxiously when he noticed that Zhang Chen was getting closer. "Okay." The 6-tailed old woman no longer hesitated, just flicked her sleeves, and disappeared at the same time as the little fox. Seeing this, Chen Sheng was stunned. While he was stunned, Zhang Chen and others came quickly. "Old Chen, are you okay? Do you need to let the Zhang family?" Seeing that Chen Sheng was extremely weak, Zhang Chen asked with concern. "Young master." Chen Sheng stood up and interrupted, saying with a relaxed face, "There is no need to trouble the Zhang family. Although it is a bit troublesome, everything is under my control. The 6-tailed old woman has been driven away by me." Cough, cough. After speaking, he began to cough violently. He also vomited 2 mouthfuls of dirty blood. I have a lot of blood, and vomiting more is good for my body," Chen Sheng smiled awkwardly. After saying this, he felt dizzy and his body swayed again. Zhang Chen was speechless. He had always known that Chen Sheng was extremely stubborn. He not only wanted to brag about how awesome his young master was, but also loved face. Helplessly, he had to rush forward to support him. "Young master, have you seen the 3-tailed white fox?" Chen Sheng asked after a pause. "Yes, I saw it," Zhang Chen nodded. "I ran away and scolded it." "Young master is awesome." Chen Sheng raised his thumb directly. In response, Zhang Chen just sighed faintly. 9 reincarnations. Every time he died, his consciousness still existed until the next life came. Therefore, even if he died, he was still in the dark, witnessing the ending of each heroine with his own eyes. Indeed, in the 9 lives, the little fox's trust and dependence on him were like a light in the dark, illuminating his world. But the ending was too miserable. He didn't want to repeat the same mistake again. He didn't want the little fox to suffer in the choice, and he didn't want it to suffer the pain of being burned by the ghost fire every day, just to not forget him. He tried hard and tried to save the little fox and others. But the result did not change. Especially the little fox, the ending of the dead heart and body was more miserable than the original. This made Zhang Chen doubt for a while. It was because of his existence that the little fox lived in pain every day. In this life, he wanted to be a villain. Therefore, he could only stay away. He tried for 9 lives and was really tired. If everything was destined, he was destined to not be able to save the little fox, why should he bring pain and torture to it? You know. In the 9 reincarnations, the little fox died because of Lin Feng. But the dead heart was because of him. Besides, in this life, since he is a villain, he will naturally become smelly. In his opinion, one person and one fox are destined not to have any intersection again. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 209. On the other side, Juyan sect. Ah! A crazy roar echoed through the sect. The sound shook the sky, like rolling thunder, so scared that Xiaoting, who was passing through the Zhenzong Dome realm to detect where Zhang Chen was, trembled. Leaned slightly. 12 supreme elders gathered at the bottom of the second peak. What caught their eyes was an old man with white hair flying around, sometimes roaring angrily, sometimes crying. Ancestor, why are you doing this? Xiaoting said in disbelief. Ancestor Juyan was silent, his eyes slightly dull. Why? He also wants to know why. Can you consider the feelings of the elderly? Do you know? How much harm will it do to an old man who is on the verge of death but has mysteriously become a spirit to have to see this kind of painful memory again and again? He is innocent. Through this matter, the ancestor of Juyan saw it. That power in the dark doesn't act according to common sense at all. The purpose might be to drive him crazy. That being the case, then go crazy. If all this could be avoided by going crazy, that would be a relief. After all, he is also an ancestor. Even if you want to go crazy, you have to go crazy yourself and don't be driven crazy. This is the last stubbornness of an ancestor. Thinking of this, the ancestor of Juyan relaxed his persistence in the Tao. The images of the 9th life appeared in his mind again and again. A strong and heaven-defying intention was carved into his flesh, blood, and bones like an axe and a chisel. Soon, his eyes turned sinister and violent. Upon seeing this scene, Xiaoting and others felt as if they had been struck by lightning. They can tell at a glance. The ancestor is crazy. Ancestor, you have to hold on. Now the Juyan sect has lost its reputation. If you are really crazy, then our sect will really become a demon sect. Xiaoting hugged the legs of the Juyan ancestor and cried. Life and death. So what about the demon sect? Today, I will go crazy. No one can stop me, Juyan ancestor kept roaring. Hearing this, the other supreme elders also knelt down and cried hoarsely. The ancestor of Juyan remained unmoved and continued to let his inner demons arise. Sudden. GG. Ancestor Juyan let out a strange laugh. His soul was infected, and a strong aura of violence emerged. Goo. Seeing this, Xiaoting and others swallowed hard. The soul is infected by hostility, which is irreversible. At this moment, the madness of the ancestor of Juyan may become a fait accompli. Maybe, he will directly become a ghost. The 12 supreme elders are the pillars of the sect, and they are all people who have seen big events. At this moment, seeing that the matter was irreversible, they knew that continued persuasion was useless, so they had no choice but to accept their fate, gathered together to whisper, and began to discuss a new name for the Juyan sect. How about the Juyan demon sect? No, the ancestor has become a ghost, so he should be called the Juyan ghost sect. But I can't wait for magic. You can't rob it? Just rob the ghost control sect, and by the way, you'll also rob the Juyan soul fetus. This is a great plan. I think we should move the sect. Move to Guiling Xuanhuan. Destroy the female ghost and seize control of the ghost section from now on. The Juyan ghost sect will be famous in the central region. This plan is also very clever. But how do you explain it to the disciples? Excuse me. Why do I, the demon sect, need to explain to my own people what I do? This is so wonderful. How is this discussion going to make Julian Patriarch Du Lei's skin burnt on the outside and tender on the inside? Listen. What kind of talents are these? What these people said shocked him so much that he almost went crazy. Why hadn't he noticed before that these supreme elders were full of evil? What the ancestor Julian didn't know was, God has labeled Julian sect as a villain, and under the influence of this villain label, the people of Julian sect will naturally do some villainous behaviors, and they think it is very reasonable. Let's just say ghost sect, Julian ancestor doesn't care. Again, he will go crazy sooner or later. At this moment, the hostility infecting the soul is also irreversible. GG. Ancestor Julian laughed strangely again. A cold and violent energy burst out from his body. His eyes were crazy, and he continued to smile and said, "From now on, call me the Nine Yan Demon Ancestor." The 12 Supreme Elders ignored him and were still discussing the future path of Julian sect. This makes Ancestor Julian very embarrassed. But when he was about to pick up all these unfilial descendants and beat them up, sudden, an indescribable power appeared in his body. And under this power, his head suddenly became clear. Not only did all the anger in his eyes fade away, but his soul was also purified. Ancestor Julian had a question mark on his face. He knew it without even thinking about it. The power that made him unable to resist must be the power that kept letting him look back for 9 lifetimes. But the problem is, what does this mean? Don't you make him crazy? Or, can you choose to be crazy? Do you have to be driven crazy? Ancestor Julian preferred the latter, and his whole body felt numb. The next second, he burst into tears and burst into tears. This was the only time in his life that he felt like so poor. Ah! The ancestor of Julian roared again. He was unwilling to give in. Why? All living beings, worlds in 10 directions. Why is he always the one who gets hurt? Why should he, the only one, have to watch 9 lifetimes of retrospection and have no choice? This is not fair. I want everyone in this world to feel my pain. Ancestor Julian once again had a violent look in his eyes, and his words were crazy. At this moment, he really driven crazy. What the ancestor said is extremely domineering. It's so wonderful. Xiaoting took the opportunity to flatter him. Snort. The ancestor of Julian snorted coldly and asked directly, "Where is Zhang Chen? How is the situation recently?" Zhang Chen seems to have no intention of going to the ghost control sect for the time being. He is wandering hundreds of miles away. He killed one disciple of the Lanyun sect and a true successor of the ghost control section. Xiaoting quickly replied. Ghost control sect? Ancestor Julian's eyes turned cold. He guessed. He must be a member of the ghost control section, seeing that the elders who came for marriage have not returned yet, and the soul lamp belonging to Yan Mei has been extinguished. He came here to investigate. He didn't want to worry about this matter for the time being. Zhang Chen would report the news anyway. But Lanyun sect aroused his interest. If I remember correctly, Lanyun sect was once a first-class section. Although it has declined now, it still has divine spiritual weapons, right? Julian ancestor narrowed his eyes. Good. Xiaoting nodded and replied, the Lanyun sect's divine spiritual weapon is called the Mirror of Memory. Since it can only project other people's memories and has no fighting ability, even though the Lanyun sect has declined, it can still hold it. Okay, very good. That's it. The ancestor of Julian was overjoyed and directly ordered, ring the bell 8 times. Julian sect, will start a war against Lanyun sect. Ah! The 12 supreme elders were immediately stunned. What's the reason? Xiaoting asked after coming back to his senses. You can make it up. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 210. Ghost Ridge and Soul Abyss. The six-tailed old woman came here with the little fox. On the way here, the little fox informed the old woman in detail about the 9 lives he had seen. At this moment, the old woman was still in shock. Such an unbelievable thing, she didn't believe it at first. But when the little fox revealed that thousands of years ago, there was a 9 heavenly ghost fox that defied nature and offended the demon emperor. In the end, he became the 9 abyss ghost fox. After surviving for a few hours, his soul disappeared, and his tribe was exiled and suppressed. Old woman, I have to believe it. Because that Xuanhuan is the ancestor of the little fox. And she never mentioned this to the little fox. We, the Yuhu clan, are destined to be unable to return to the demon world. Are we destined to be sealed and suppressed forever in our clan? The old woman's face was filled with sadness. The little fox nodded. Indeed. It discovered this in its first life back. No matter who it chooses, no matter whether it goes against heaven or goes along with heaven, the result will be that it cannot grow to 9 tails. Grandma, I don't want to be a puppet anymore, I don't want to forget anymore, the little fox said seriously. You mean? The old woman was silent for a while and then said, you want to imitate your ancestors and burn your body with ghost fire and refine your soul with ghost fire? But in this case, you can only live for a few hours. Even if it's just for a moment, I want to be myself. Even if it's just for a moment, I want to stand in front of Zhang Chen and tell him that I will never forget him again, the little fox blurted out. The old woman was silent. Grandma. Please, the little fox begged, 9 reincarnations, I owe Zhang Chen so much. Unless I can no longer forget, I don't have the courage to stand in front of him. I feel more uncomfortable now than if I were dead. Why? The old woman let out a long sigh. The reason why she was silent just now was not only because she couldn't bear to watch her granddaughter die, but there was also a deeper reason. Burning the body with ghost fire and refining the soul with ghost fire can indeed allow Xuanhuan to escape his fate. But things are not that simple. Let's talk about the burning body first. The reason why the ancestors were able to do it was because they had completely mastered the nether fire. But today's little fox is not even a demon king, so he can't do it at all. Let's talk about soul refining with hell fire. Under the Ghost Ridge and Soul Abyss, there is indeed the 9 abyss fire, but this fire is guarded by a female ghost, and that female ghost is notoriously difficult to mess with. A little careless. The little fox will be destroyed by the female ghost before it touches the underworld fire. Even if she was protecting him, she wasn't completely sure. After understanding this, the little fox asked, Grandma, is there any way for me to quickly break through to the Demon King? Without losing my memory? No. After pondering for a long time, the old woman shook her head. Seeing her hesitation, the little fox said with a cry, Grandma, please help me. I don't want to hurt Zhang Chen anymore. I want to stay with him and sleep in his arms, even if it's only for a moment. Why? Hearing this, the old woman sighed again and replied, Silly boy, there is indeed a way, but you will die. Death, the little fox blinked. Yes, it means death, the old woman shook her head, the 9 heavens fox is special, and neither pills nor heavenly materials and earthly treasures can help it break through in cultivation. Only ghost eating can advance quickly. And at the moment of advancement, you need to cut off the fox tail. Not one tail, but all of them. Eating ghosts will make you haunted by ghosts, and if you are not careful, you will become a mindless ghost. Cutting off the fox's tail is also tantamount to committing suicide. If you survive it, you can keep your memory. If you can't survive it, he will die on the spot, she added. So that's it, it's very easy, the little fox smiled. Easy. The old woman was stunned. This is related to your own life. Just talking about it, you know that you will encounter a lot of suffering. In the eyes of the little fox, is it actually easy? Grandma, this is indeed an easy thing compared to forgetting Zhang Chen and never seeing Zhang Chen again, the little fox explained. The old woman was speechless again. And while he was silent, the little fox had jumped into the ghost ridge and soul abyss. The old woman didn't stop him. She just sighed again and sat cross-legged in silence, her consciousness covering the entire ghost ridge and soul abyss. She doesn't have long life left and can't accompany the little fox to complete everything. She can do it. I can only wait here silently and help the little fox when he encounters difficulties. She hopes to. I hope the little fox will retreat when faced with difficulties and not go down a dead end. After all, no old man wants a white-haired person to give a black-haired person. Xuanhuan? Well, it is indeed a good name. The old woman looked up at the sky and murmured softly. In the ghost ridge and soul abyss. Call. The ghost wind howls and ghosts float. After the little fox arrived inside, he felt like he was in an ice cellar, and his body couldn't help but tremble. In front of it, a ghost with teeth and claws appeared. It didn't know how to fight, but it still rushed forward and bit each other with the ghost. Relying on instinct and ghost fire, it finally defeated the ghosts and swallowed them one by one. All of a sudden, the ghost energy was scurrying around and hitting the little fox's body. Every time the ghost energy moves around, it is like a sharp knife, waving continuously in its body, dripping with blood wherever it goes. And every impact seems to hit the soul, giving it a splitting headache and making life worse than death. But it rushed towards another ghost. There was no hesitation. Obvious. Compared to the pain of forgetting memories, the torture it is suffering now is insignificant to it. This is just above the ghost ridge soul abyss, most of which are ghosts without intelligence. And these ghosts can be easily eliminated by even a lower fourth realm cultivator. After several hours, the little fox has devoured hundreds of ghosts. In its mind, it seems that these ghosts are constantly howling, one after another, which is extremely harsh. Shut up. The little fox kept shaking its head, trying to dispel these voices. But the more it resisted, the more intense the ghost howl became. And under the influence of ghost howls and ghost energy, unknowingly, the little fox's eyes have turned red, and the snow-white hair has a tendency to turn black. Looking at itself, it rang the words of Zhang Chen. You are the Nine Heavens ghost fox, so you take 9 as your surname. You are as white as frost, so you take Frost as your name, so you are called Xuanhuan. It lowered its head, and its expression was lonely. If it succeeds in defying fate, it will no longer be the Nine Heavens ghost fox. If it continues to devour ghosts, it will be infected by ghost energy, and its hair will turn black. Then, will it still be worthy of the name given by Zhang Chen? It's okay, the little fox shook his head and comforted himself. Even if Zhang Chen can't recognize me, I can recognize him. Even if I don't deserve the name Nine Frost, it is still my name. Because it was given by Zhang Chen. Because in this life, even if I die, I will never be Bai Ling again. One day, I will appear in front of Zhang Chen and tell him. In this life, I will never forget him again. He is more important than my life. The little fox kept whispering. After that, it walked deeper into the ghost ridge soul abyss. Faintly, there seemed to be a figure in white in front of it, smiling at it and calling its name. Xuanhuan. Here. Xuanhuan responded with a smile.